We live in an era that is overwhelmed with information. Even on a typical day, we're inundated with stimulation from computers, phones, tablets, and the noise of the modern world. And then, 2020. It's been a year of unexpected and disruptive changes to our culture and communities. Political polarization, divisive racial injustices, and the COVID-19 pandemic disturbing our routines. Lifestyles and economy have combined to heap stress and anxiety on top of the already busy brains of our normal lives. Stress adds on itself, so it's not a singular event. It's like you get stressed out and then it comes, you start to come down, and then something else happens, and then something else, and sometimes it's all happening at once. What's happening in the brain is there is the literal neurological storm that takes place right in the prefrontal cortex. That's the area of the brain where we problem solve, think critically, plan, organize. It's the human part of the brain. It's what separates us from the animals. It's our ability to see around corners and predict the consequences of our behaviors. It's what allows us to stymie our impulses, to keep from having our impulses overrun us. It gives us a sense of control. So when that area of the brain is overwhelmed, we're now operating from the more primal parts of our brain. That's the parts that are more connected to our emotions, our fight or flight response, and it creates the inability to be in control. Essentially, it keeps you in a cage and prevents you from being free. How you respond to stress is going to make or break your life. That's just the simple truth, because if you are stressed out, you're in reaction mode. You no longer are choosing how you're responding to your life and your situations, but instead you're being overrun by the impulses of just what's arising out of you. And so when that happens, you don't have the ability to choose with some kind of strategic reasoning how you want to respond to what's going on in your life, how you want to respond to your friends, to your family, and to all of the different elements that are ongoing. And instead, you kind of come into a state of frenzy where you're in a constant state of stress arousal, which has to do with our nervous system. It's our sympathetic arousal and our fight or flight response. When we're in a fight or flight response, that means that we're either exploding on everybody around us in anger and emotionality, or we're closing ourselves in. That's the flight part. It's like paralysis. You just shut down. And so essentially we're creating distance and dysfunction in our relationships. So our ability to modulate our stress in healthy ways gives us the ability to have more depth in our relationships, more understanding, more empathy, and more care. It's hard to give a listening ear and really seek to understand another person when you yourself are overwhelmed and stressed out. Addiction is one of the major stressors in life. And there's a difference between a stressor and stress. Stressors are what create pressures and demand on your brain and your body. Stress is your reaction to those things. And so when addiction is involved in a family dynamic, in a family unit, it tends to overwhelm the situation. And so it creates a high stress environment for everyone that's involved. All right, my top 5 stress busters are: number 1, long, slow, deep breathing. This calms the storm in the brain and allows you to reclaim your peace, your joy, and clarity in moving through a situation. Number 2 is find music that you enjoy and listen to it. It takes about 15 minutes, 7 to 15 minutes to change the frequencies in the brain, and there's a high stress frequency that has to be calmed and soothed in order for you to come back down to homeostasis, which is balance. That's where wellness resides. Number 3 is relax. Learning how to really relax your mind and your body is going to change how you respond both physically in your body and emotionally to stress. Number 4 is dance. Moving rhythmically to music is beneficial for your brain and your body, and it's like an antidepressant as well. It helps you feel good. It creates dopamine production in the brain. So dancing and moving to music is a definite stress buster. And number 5 is get good sleep. Plan for about an hour of sleep hygiene where you do a ritual, brush your teeth, you get ready for bed, you start to calm yourself down, you separate yourself from electronics. Give yourself the opportunity to lull your brain down into a good sleep pattern. And a good exercise is to imagine yourself being someplace out in nature that's really peaceful. It's really soothing to the brain and body when you close your eyes and you do that for about 5 minutes, and it can really help lull you into sleep, and that alone is a great stress buster. I spend a lot of time working with people on just how to breathe, because if you breathe on purpose, you get so much better results. Here's the deal. Short, shallow breaths signals to the brain that a threat exists. Long, slow, deep breathing signals to the brain and body that you're safe. The coast is clear. If you take a deep breath, breathing now into your belly, then up into your chest and shoulders, really fill your body with air, and then exhale. Long and slow, like you're trying to fog a mirror. Do that for about 3 minutes. Set a timer on your phone. You breathe like you're drinking or like you're pouring a glass of water. You pour to the bottom and then fill it up. So you breathe down, relax your belly, let the air fill your belly, and then roll its way up into your chest and shoulders, and then exhale nice and slow. And that will calm and soothe that neurological storm that's going on in the brain. And it gives you the space that you need to choose how you're going to respond to the people in your life that you care about. That'll help you in your relationships, and it'll help you to be able to plan, problem solve, and organize your life in a much more efficient and healthy way. If you want help managing your stress or managing the stress in your whole family unit, get in touch with me. You can find me at anthonyhaskins.com. That's ANTHONY.HASKINS.com. Or you can email me at ah@anthonyhaskins.com. For support with your family's addiction issues, reach out to parentshelpingparents.info. Reclaim your life of joy, peace, and freedom.